Here's a short tutorial on how to use Genie Plus at Walt Disney World. If you are heading on a vacation to Walt Disney World and you don't want to spend your time waiting in lines, you're going to want Genie Plus. So first thing you have to do, open up your My Disney Experience app. At 7 a.m., the day you want to use it is when you're going to do this. So you're going to go in, you're going to click on the Buy Genie Plus. You're going to need to choose which park you want to use it for. There's an option to purchase it for all the parks. There's an option to purchase it for one park. So if you're park hopping, you're going to want multiple parks. If you're not park hopping, just buy the one for the park you're going to. So go through the tutorial on My Disney Experience app, read through all the specifics about how to use it. Basically, 7 a.m. is your key time of day where you can buy it and then make your first Genie Plus. You're not going to ride at 7 o'clock, but you're going to make your first reservation starting at 7 o'clock. So go in to the Genie page. It's going to show you all the rides at the park that you've chosen. Choose which one you want to ride and just go ahead and click that Genie, Disney Genie, and it gives you a time there. That time is the time you'll come back. You have 1 hour. So if it says 7 o'clock, you have from 7 until 8 o'clock to arrive. Now, throughout the day, you're going to go back in and you're going to make your reservations every 2 hours. So I set an alarm on my phone. So if I made my first reservation at 7:02, I'm going to set my alarm for 9:02. 9:02, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to make my next Genie Plus selection. So you're going to stack these throughout the day. You're going to use them throughout the day. You are able to make new Genie Plus reservations at 2 intervals. One being every 2 hours. The next one being if you use the last one you made. So if at 11:02 you make one for 11:30, you use that one at 11:30. Now you can go back in at 11:30 after you've scanned into that ride and you can make your next one. So that's the opportunity when you don't have to wait 2 hours. So be familiar with this section. You can see this at any point. It's the wait times section on My Disney Experience app. So check out those wait times, whether you're using Genie Plus or not. It's going to be super helpful. So you're just going to go on through the app. You're going to go and check what times you want to ride. If it doesn't show a time for the Disney Genie section, that means it's not available. So that ride could be sold out currently, or the ride could be down and they're just not letting people choose it. Throughout the day, those times are going to open up. So if you want Slinky Dog, one of the most popular rides at Hollywood Studio, and you weren't able to get it right away at 7 o'clock, keep checking throughout the day. If you're waiting in a line, you're doing whatever, open up that app, see if it's available. It might be available again throughout the day. So don't lose hope if you're not able to get one of those big rides. You may be able to switch it on out later in that day. The other thing you're able to now do is change the times. So let's say you go in, you make a reservation for something at 6:30, you want to try to change it. You can go in, click on it, and try to modify the time to an earlier or later time. So play around with it. There's a lot of different options on there. Make yourself familiar with it. It's typically around $20, $25, depending on the time of year. The more busy the parks are, the more expensive Genie Plus is going to be. The other option you want to be familiar with is virtual queue. So at Disney, Epcot, and Magic Kingdom, there are 2 rides that require a virtual queue. You cannot ride Guardians without a virtual queue or Tron without a virtual queue. You have to get it. So again, at 7 o'clock, so you're going to probably want multiple phones if you're doing both of these things on one day. Have somebody else try for the virtual queues. So it's right at 7 o'clock. Guardians, if you have a plan to go to Epcot that day, or Magic Kingdom, Tron. If you don't get it at 7 o'clock, if you are in that park at 1 o'clock, you can try again. So 7 o'clock and 1 o'clock are the 2 times that you can get virtual queues. The other thing is buying a lightning lane. There are a few rides that you can actually just separately purchase a ride to ride. It's called Lightning Lane. It's very similar to Genie Plus, although it's just for this one particular ride. So things like Tron, if you don't get a virtual queue, you can probably buy it. It's usually around $12. Same with Guardians, you can probably buy it. There are a few other rides that have lightning lanes that you can purchase, one being Rise of Resistance over at Hollywood Studios. So that's what I mean. Go around, look through this section on the tip board through all the different parks. Familiarize yourself with the different rides, who has virtual queues, who has lightning lanes, and also utilizing those wait times throughout the day to kind of see what's going on at all of the different parks. The rides with the longest wait times tend to sell out the fastest, some of those high-profile rides. So here's a tip of what you're going to want to do. You go into the tip board that we were just looking at and click on the section to the right that says My Day. Go through that and prioritize your rides. So click on those couple of rides that you really want to get, so that when you look at your tip board, it's going to show those rides out of alphabetical order and put them up at the top. So instead of having to constantly scroll all the way down to Rise of Resistance, you're going to see it as your first one. So when you go in at 7 o'clock and try to get that Rise of Resistance right away, you're going to see it at the top versus having to constantly keep refreshing your screen, scrolling down to R. So go to the My Day and prioritize your top choices before you buy Genie Plus. Don't forget to hit subscribe and follow along for more Disney vacation tips.